In the starlight as we were from the weather to feel the memorial of the marvel from the halls of glass field, from the pleasance of the roses, the fountain and the dew, where the snowy Sierra soothed us with the breezes in the dew. In the starlight as we trembled from a laugh to a caress, and the gods came warm upon us in our pagan allegory.
Hello everyone, and welcome again. I've got Robert Goodman here with me today, and we're going to talk about The Magic of Acting, which is a new book of his, which is coming out on Amazon and also on Lulu. Hi Rob.
Hi, how you doing, John? Good to be here, mate. Yeah, right, The Magic of Acting. So what do I mean by the magic of acting? It seems a strange thing to say, doesn't it? Well, you know what, I mean, look, as an actor, I've been around the block quite a few times, and I've got a cupboard full of T-shirts, and so to speak, and you know, I sort of see young actors in training, and what they appear to be doing is going through the motions of the training that they're receiving. It seems to me that they think that if they follow stages A, B and C, then D will happen, and that's what they need to do to become a professional working actor. You know what? Sadly, to a certain extent, that's absolutely true. That is really what they need to do. But I think there's a little bit more to it than that. And it struck me that what we have to do is we have to work from a certain special, almost magical, it's a kind of magic, John, a certain sort of special magic inside ourselves. This comes from our original, authentic, childlike madness, if you like.
I mean, I've come across acting, as most people do, starting at school, where you're given some lines to repeat and a character, and that's the most simple form of acting for children, and everybody's, I think, almost, that I've talked to, has done some acting. Later on, you understand that there are methodologies, the method, for example, in acting, and more classical.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're breaking this mould, are you?
Well, not quite. I mean, there are lots and lots of methodologies, techniques, systems of acting. But my contention is that all of the methodologies and the systems that are taught, as you say, the method itself, as developed by Lee Strasberg from Konstantin Stanislavski's system, or another offshoot of Konstantin Stanislavski's system is the Meisner method, developed by Sanford Meisner at the Neighborhood Playhouse, New York. Yeah, there's of course the wonderful Stella Adler. All of these methodologies are wonderful and they work in a fantastic way, but only if they're engaged with from this special place that we have inside ourselves. In other words, we have to engage with it from us, from the real us.
Well, this is very different from what the method is saying, isn't it? So we're going beyond the method here. We're going to something completely different.
We're going way beyond the method. But once we can work from our special, magical, authentic, original selves, if we work from that place within ourselves, then our training in the method and the Meisner system and Stella Adler's system and Mikhail Chekhov, our training in any of these methodologies will become a different ballgame. They'll become much more powerful and so much more effective if we approach them from this special place that I'm talking about. Without that, it is my contention that actor training is clinical, paint-by-numbers system. It has no soul. So we have to put soul into our training and soul into our work. It's my contention also, you see, that we each have within us an unlimited potential. It's a potential that we can tap into at any time. This potential has a preset ability and a preset knowledge whereby we actually can do pretty much anything we want to do if we work from our special magical place. Now, my book, The Magic of Acting, and this series of podcasts, I hope will introduce people to themselves. I'll introduce you to you, and I'll help you get to this special magical place. And as we move on with these podcasts, we'll eventually get to the connection podcast of how you connect with all of this and what this thing is. But it's far too early in the game at the moment to tell you what this thing actually is. First of all, we have to have a pretty long introduction to it, and then in the next podcast we'll have a look at the methodologies, and the one after that we'll look at something wonderful called psychogeography. That's pretty wonderful. And then we're going to look at some Greek mythology. I have to rephrase that. Not Greek mythology. It's not a myth. We look at ancient Greek philosophy.
Yes.
It was the ancient Greeks, of course, that first of all started this whole acting business, and theatre as we know it today. And this special self that I'm talking about.
Well, I know that the Greeks said that, and I think you put it in your book, is the gods descending.
That's exactly
Is it descending inside you or descending around you? What's going on?
They descend from the heavens, whatever you conceive that to mean. They descend from the god realm. In ancient Greek philosophy, that is, the god realm.
Yes.
They descend from this realm into us. It's divine help.
Do you know, Rob, sorry to interrupt, just to cut in, but it reminds me a little bit of something that Carlos Santana is actually teaching
Brilliant.
the moment, these masterclasses on guitar, which is online, and he's saying about, I don't use the word channeling, I was about to use the word channeling, let's correct that, but you're using some other force. You're forgetting about how to play, and you're playing.
There you go.
Sounds similar.
Therein lies the rub. Yeah, well, the great Santana is talking about the music's answer to what I'm talking about as well. You know, it's like there's always been a connection. It sounds like a magical thing almost that Santana's talking about there. And you know what? There's always been a connection between performance and ritual and the need to understand the metaphysical and magic. From the earliest cave paintings of the Neanderthals to mummers plays and to shadow dancing by firelight, to putting on animal skins when hunting to try and fool. You're acting when the sort of the hunter gatherers were acting when they put on animal skins, hunt to fool the animal into thinking that they were one of those. And so there's always been a connection between performance, stroke, creativity, and magic. Now I think magic and creativity are inextricably linked. Magic and creativity are exactly the same thing. All creativity is a form of magic. And what we need to do is to put a little bit more creativity into our magic and a little bit more magic into our creativity. And that's what my book's about, finding the magic within ourselves. By the way, when I talk about magic, I'm talking about real, full-on magic. I'm not talking about stage magic, where some sequined stage magician with a mysterious stare pulls a rabbit out of a top hat or flourishes silk handkerchiefs. I'm talking about real stage magic. Now, the stage magicians, of course, will tell you, but it's not what you do, it's the way that you do it. They give you a little knowing wink when they say that. Sure thing, yeah, they got that right at least. So if it's not that but the way that you do it, how about this? Let me give you a little scenario here. Why not try some real stage magic? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk on stage. Forget the sequin shoes and the offensive tie.
Is this something I can do?
Oh, you could do this, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you could, yeah. Walk on stage. Forget the sequin shoes, the offensive tie, the mysterious stare, waving your hands around. Forget all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Just walk on stage, say nothing, do nothing. Nada, nothing, zilch, nout. Right. Say nothing. Don't even look at the audience. Don't make any connection with the audience whatsoever. Just walk on stage, normally. Sit down at a table. Pour some cornflakes into a bowl. A little bit of milk in the bowl, maybe a little sprinkle of sugar if you like it. Eat the cornflakes. Stand up. Don't bow. Don't acknowledge the audience. Walk off the stage. How's that? How's that sound?
That sounds pretty strange.
Well, it's not what you do, but the way that you do it, don't forget. Now imagine any of the great actors. Marlon Brando, Meryl Streep, Frances McDormand, Jack Nicholson, any of the great actors. Imagine any of those walking onto a stage and doing that. Man, you would be mesmerized. You wouldn't be able to take your eyes off of them. It would be absolutely compelling. You'd be drawn to them because all of these great actors are great magicians. They know the secret of the magic of acting. And what they did was work on their own madness, their own authenticity, and it would be absolutely compelling, And so if you're going to do that level of absolute compelling mesmerism into all of our creativity. Let's make it real. So that's what these podcasts are about. It's what my book is about. As we progress with the podcast, I'll reveal slowly to you the magic of acting and how to do it.
This is really good. I mean, there'll be hundreds, if not thousands, of people listening to this who are aspiring actors. They'll be thinking, how do I get the best out of my performance? And you're offering something in this book which is original. As far as I know, I don't know anyone else.
Well, I don't know anyone else that is approaching it from this angle.
Right.
I mean, this muse, if you will, that I'm talking about, that we're going to connect with, what we are inside and who we truly are. First of all, we have to meet ourselves. We have to know who we are. I'm going to help you do that. And it's just a case of connecting with this thing. Now, the ancient Greeks had a name for this.
Did they?
This thing. It's your instinct. It's the author of your dreams. It's the compiler of your creativity. It's the one that gives you the ideas. It's the instinct. It's the inner voice. And it's your secret self. Now look, everybody listening, by your secret self, I tell you what it is. It's that one inside you. You know, that one that you think I don't know about. Yeah, it's that one. No, it's not the one it's not you lot just listening to this podcast now. It's the other one, the one inside at the back. It's that one. I'm talking to that one. And it's that one that you think I can't possibly know about, but I do.
Robert, let me ask you, just to cut in.
Yeah.
Could this be applied to other areas of life?
I think that once you're in connection with this thing that I will be revealing, that I'm talking about, you can pretty much do anything you want. But because I'm setting it against the backdrop of acting, then acting is the thing we're talking about. And it will make you the actor that you want to be. Your acting won't just be good, it will be exceptional. And you will come along in leaps and bounds. Your acting will improve dramatically and significantly overnight.
Right.
Once you've done this, but then just to clarify, but then you can go and study the methodologies. Method acting is a fantastic thing. It's a great toolbox to have. The Meisner is a great toolbox to have. Stella Adler is brilliant. I especially like Stella Adler. All of these tools that you'll learn from these methodologies will be a great tools to have in your toolbox. The thing is, once you know this secret of the magic of acting and you've connected with your true inner self that I'm talking about, you'll rarely need to use the toolbox. But you know, it's very exciting, and there's nothing spooky about this because I'm using the word magic. There's nothing spooky about it. It's just you. It's just simply you.
I mean, in some ways, and I'm not trying to simplify because I need to study it myself and probably reread the book, but I'm getting a feeling that when you start learning something, you can almost forget what you're wanting to achieve at the end.
Well, there's the other thing you say. The process is the thing. So you inject the correct intention into the process without thought of any end result. Don't work for an end result. Do not work for an end result or a goal. Only work for the process and inject your magic into the process. When I say inject your magic, I mean inject yourself. This special self that you have inside. That one at the back, the one you don't think I know about, the one that speaks to you in your mind in the quietest moments of your when you're alone in the quietest moments.
Do you know anyone who's
doing
yes,
I do.
Similar?
I know actors that work in this way. They probably don't know they're working in this way, but I know actors that work in this way, and they're the greats, the ones I've just mentioned. I mean, there's a few. I could name a couple of dozen, but I mean, Brando being, a prime example, the great Marlon Brando, Jack Nicholson being fantastic, a marvellous, wonderful actress, Frances McDormand, there's Meryl Streep, there's Denzel Washington, all of these people. Now, it's funny that all of these people also have studied with Stella Adler and Lee Strasberg. And they're supposedly method actors, but all of these people would have been great in spite of their training. They'd have been great, had this training, they've learnt a few tools from their toolbox, but they'd have been great actors in spite of their training. And let's take Brando, for example. Marlon Brando had something that no other actor in the world has had or ever will have. He had Marlon Brando-ness.
Right.
And it's and so you just put your own name in front of that. So you've got John Tapsell-ness. I've got Rob Goodman-ness. There's and people listening. You've got Sasha-ness. You've got Richard-ness. You've got Lucy-ness. You've got John-ness. You've got put your own name in front of it, and you've got that. Ness.
But you've got to get to this place where you feel comfortable in acting in the first place. So you still probably need to.
This thing will do it for you. This thing will do it for you. Yeah. You put all of your attention onto this special you. And then when you're on stage or you're in front of the camera, you put your intention onto the person you're talking to. You know this is standard actor stuff. You're in the moment. You look at the person you're talking to and you say your piece to them, not at them. It's actually not. You've got to put. The ancient Greeks called this thing the Daemon. You've probably heard of that phrase before with Pullman's films and
yes, I have, yeah.
And so that's not quite the Daemon, but the ancient Egyptians called it Ka, Ka. And so there's this thing, this aspect. It's an aspect of you. It's just an aspect of you, but it's far more radiant than all the other aspects of you. You see, the thing is, in acting, you can only ever be yourself. Everyone else is taken. So you can only ever be you.
Yes.
And so you can only ever be you. So every part you ever play will be a self-portrait. But we're going to get onto this in the second issue of this when we talk about the character, or the third issue actually, when we talk about the character.
So but what's your view on things like Buto, where the Japanese Buto, where you are in front of the audience, you're very naked, you're doing spontaneous actions, you're looking and staring at people. Have you ever seen a Buto?
Yes, I have. And a Buto performance, provided they're doing it from themselves, provided they put this, let's call it the Daemon, just for want of a better phrase.
Yes.
Or let's call it the instinct, if you want to, if you prefer that word. By the way, don't get mixed up between the name Daemon and demon. No. They're two totally different things.
No, I was going to say.
They're two totally different things. Yeah. Demon is something else. Do not get involved in that sort of stuff. The Daemon, it sounds similar, but it's nothing like that. Okay, so don't get scared and get mixed up between the two. They're not the same.
This is a clean show. Okay.
It's a clean show, and it's a safe show as well. So don't get mixed up between those two things. Okay, but once you put the Daemon in the driving seat,
yes.
If the Daemon's in the driving seat, then it cannot go wrong, because the Daemon is the pure.
I mentioned
it's the purest aspect of you. So the purest aspect of you can never be wrong. Go ahead.
No, I said I mention it because the Buto performances and one or two other performances are very raw and very natural. And I found them quite powerful, and I wondered about that.
Yeah, the power comes from they're working from this place. They're working from their.
I really felt it.
They're working from their own magic.
Yeah.
That's where the power comes from. Now, if you can put that same power into your acting, imagine how brilliant that would be.
So going back to the man with the cornflakes on the stage, who hasn't really interacted with the audience, he's just had his cornflakes. He goes off. Everyone will know. They'll feel it. Is that what you're saying?
If he does it from.
Yeah.
If his magical madness is doing the acting, they will feel it. If he gets out of his own way and gets out of his own ego, that's a big one, ego. We'll talk about that on the next one. If he gets out of his own way and gets out of his own ego, and he just puts, let's give it a name to make it easy. Let's call this thing Joe, for the sake of argument. So if it's a girl, you're Joanne. If it's a boy, you're Joseph. Let's call it Joe. If you put Joe in the driving seat,
yes,
nothing can go wrong.
Well,
and just get out of your own way and just put Joe in the driving seat. Now, Joe is you. Joe isn't something else, something that's possessed you. It's nothing like that. It is you, but it's a certain aspect of you. It's that truthful, original, inner aspect. Yeah.
I want to try this out before the next pod.
Yeah.
Because people have said to me, and I have done some acting, where I played the villain in certain films, as you have.
I know. You used to do kung fu films in Kathmandu, didn't you?
So it's all sorts of things. And I have played Dizzy. I think you said to me, picked up on I can do Jack Douglas Dizzy. I can do that. Yeah. But they're things which I find easy to do. And I'm not a very good villain. I can't play act.
Well, you know what? You are, because everyone has got that inside them.
But I'd like to call you and say, I'm practicing this now, or whatever I have to do. So I'm actually all ears. I'd like to do this before the next podcast and see if I can also engage, just see if it's really going to work for me. Because you're saying it here on the show, people are listening thinking, well, can I entertain
Well,
this and
everyone in the world has got many different aspects to themselves. Everyone's an actor already. That's the thing. So it's very look. Everyone is already an actor. Okay, and so so you say to your partner, "Oh, does my bum look big in this?" And your partner says, "No, you look great." They lie, and possibly sometimes, or I mean that's just one sort of fairly flippant example. But we all act every day in our lives, and we've all got various different aspects to us.
Yeah.
So in other words, the aspect of yourself that you show your mother or your father is probably going to be different to the aspects that we show our siblings. Or so I'm getting. John's making signs at me to say we've got to kind of wind things up a little bit. But let me just say this. So the aspect of yourself that you show your partner is different to the side you show your siblings, and the aspect you show your boss is different to the side of you show your friends. So there's 4 different aspects and sides of you that we act at, and when we inhabit any one of those sides of us, we're acting.
Thanks for joining Occulture, and if you want to be kept up to date with programs like Rob's, do subscribe and we'll be able to update you. And of course, tune in again.